I found for a long time these 7 characteristics as a handy way to talk about the opportunity from a technological point of view. This is arbitrary. It's an arbitrary way of talking about it. It's just a way of sort of parsing all the many things that are going on and organizing it somewhat. And so I'm going to hit the wave tops in each of these 7 areas and the things that I see as being most important in some examples. Let's start with the speed. And I always say it's going to be so fast. And I know some people say, I wonder where he lives, because where I live, it doesn't seem like it's getting really fast. Well, if you lived outside of the United States, you'd probably feel pretty good about this. Because, unfortunately, this is the one area that's just a little bit not as good a story as I would like it to be and as good as it was. And that is that the lobbyists have really slowed things down. No pun intended. Our major carriers are the biggest threat to the future of the internet. They don't necessarily oppose it being faster, but they want to be protected. They don't want competition. And not having competition is why it's not faster. Could be the iPhone. That went fast. So what's going on here is that outside of the U.S., governments are realizing that the Internet's a really good thing. And in Japan, for example, they have Yahoo broadband, which is at least 10 times faster than we have here, at a lot less cost. And you might wonder, what do they know that we don't know? What was the technological breakthrough in Japan? And the answer is, there was no technological breakthrough. What they did was deregulate the components of broadband. Deregulate. And there's different aspects. There's one piece that gets it to the curb, and another piece that gets it to here, and another piece that provides various supporting aspects of the internet. I won't bore you with technical details. And they deregulated it and gotten a lot of competition. We don't have that here. We have AT&T and Verizon with legions of lawyers in Washington trying to avoid much competition. So they sort of roll things out at their pace. Now, they wouldn't say it quite that way, of course. I am somewhat optimistic that we may get some competition going. It's very heartening to see, as all of us in technology knew would happen, that Comcast is now promoting themselves as a phone company. And Verizon is presenting themselves as a video company, a TV company. And so they're threatening each other. This is good. This should lead to lower prices and higher speeds. But technically, cable modems can go at least 50 million bits per second. They advertise broadband, and they give it to you, and you get maybe 500,000 or 600,000 bits per second. And technically, that's not even broadband. You can say it's a truth in advertising issue. It's not broadband. So there must be a BlackBerry out there. Let me just make sure I get this off. I've never run into this before, the iPhone, so I think it is a BlackBerry. So the goal here is to hope that Adam Smith's invisible hand works, right, to get the competition going. Now, there's another dimension that could have a big impact, and that is the power grid. I don't know if you've heard of BPL, broadband power line. So you can buy a cable modem, you can buy a DSL modem, or you can buy a BPL modem. Linksys has all 3. And a BPL modem, you plug it into the wall, and it gets the electricity and the broadband from the electrical system, even from Wi-Fi from a utility pole out in the neighborhood. And it's just as fast as cable or DSL. So that's a third element that could actually cause some additional, hopefully, competition. And there are hundreds of thousands of people already using it in some communities that are rolling it out as a community service. Now, assuming we get all the broadband, we continue to get the increase in users, which of course we are, can the backbone of the internet handle it? A friend of mine, Bob Metcalf, who was the inventor of Ethernet, made a projection in 1998 that the internet would collapse. And he really believed that it would, but it didn't. It didn't because the internet is very highly distributed. In the 1950s, there was a lot of concern about the Cold War. And people thought that the Russians were going to unleash missiles on America and we would lose our communication system. And a guy named Paul Buran at the RAND group on the West Coast came up with the idea, let's take the messages and break them up into packets. And let's send the packets through different routes from New York to San Francisco. One goes via Kansas, the other via Chicago. And then we put the packets back together again. And if Kansas gets blown up, well, at least the packets can go the other way. Some of the packets get lost, well, we got most of them, we can preserve them. That was the thinking behind the internet in the late 50s, and it came to roost in September 2001, when a lot of the routers, these specialized computers that move these packets around the internet, a number of them were destroyed. But the internet didn't stop. People in New York continued to get email because of the design of the internet. So I'm very optimistic. I don't see a capacity issue in terms of the backbone. Fiber optic cable has unbelievable potential. It's the ultimate internet where everything someday will be fiber. It's going to take a long time. That actually is one of the good things Verizon is doing. Is anybody have Fios? Anybody live in Boston or Philadelphia or, yeah, a couple of you do. Great, right? Very fast. 99